I'm Karen. Welcome to my channel. This is where I share my experiences using cruelty-free skincare and makeup on mature skin. Today, I want to tell you about my first ever project pan. When it comes to the direction I want to go with my channel, I think about using what I have, loving what I have. Don't get me wrong, I love to buy new things. But before I buy something new, I want to stop and think about it for a while and want it for a while. And then when I bring it into my collection, I want to make sure I cherish it and that it's adding to my collection, not replacing things in my collection. My favorite videos to do are my empties and my shop my stash videos. My empties videos give me a chance to really show what I have used from my collection. It is so satisfying for me to take an empty container, put it in my empties bin, gather them all throughout the month, and then pull out that bin and show it all to you. It proves that I really am using what I have. And then my shop my stash videos, I pick a theme. I pick something that I've been loving lately, some vibe that I've been into, and I pull in everything from my collection that fits that theme. And then I spotlight those products and I really focus on using those, using what I have and loving what I have. And I know that most people think that project pan videos kind of fit in that same theme, but I've never really been interested in doing a project pan. I do love using what I have, but I don't want to use it all up. I don't want to force myself to use it up. I hope that the distinction between my love of showing my empties and my reluctance to focus on forcing myself to use something up, I hope that distinction is clear. As I use things and I use them up, that's a natural progression, but I don't want the focus to be on using it up. So I always kind of never really got the appeal of project pans. And along those same lines, I never really got the appeal of panning something until it happened to me. Not long ago, I hit pan on an eyeshadow. It's this one. It's the color Burnt Orange in the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. Now this really surprised me when I hit pan on this. I wasn't expecting it. But if I think about it, it makes sense. For one thing, these shadows are super, super soft, way powdery. It's part of the reason they blend so well, but it also means that if you go in with a heavy hand, you can really pick up way too much. And I've gotten to where I can really finesse and just pick up a light amount on these shadows, but early on, I probably was a little too heavy-handed. So it makes sense that I would hit pan on one of these. The other reason that it makes sense that I hit pan on one of these is this is my oldest eyeshadow palette. When I bought this, I didn't have any other eyeshadow palettes. In fact, I didn't have any other eyeshadow. The only thing I was wearing on my eyes at that time was eyeliner and mascara. And then before that, when I was wearing eyeshadow, it was always either singles or duos. I didn't have any palettes. I did back in the day buy the Urban Decay Naked palette when it first came out, but I didn't like the formula and I think I used it once or twice and then I sold it to a friend at work. So when I saw this in the stores, I didn't have any eyeshadow palettes. It was in 2018, early 2018, shortly after this came out. And it was when I was on my journey to find the right skincare routine for me. So I was in Sephora looking at skincare, and this was on a display by the front door. The colors caught my attention because this was always the colors that I love to wear in eyeshadows, those rich, warm colors. So I stopped and I swatched it and I fell in love. Instant love with this palette. I didn't buy it that day. I waited a while and then I ordered it online a little bit later, but this was my first palette and it started my love of palettes. So it makes sense that it would be the first one that I would hit pan on. Now when I think about doing a project pan, I don't want to be pulling in a bunch of products making little marks on them for updates, making myself reach for those. What I want to do is focus in on something small and simple and just kind of bring it to the forefront of my collection and see if I can really pan some of it. That's where this comes in. I want this to be my first item in a project pan. I want to do a pan that palette, and I want to use this as my first project piece. Now my goal is not to finish up anything in this palette. I don't think that I will totally use up any of the colors. What I want to do is continue to hit more pan on this burnt orange color and then pan a few more of the other colors, as many as I can, and then at least make a pretty good dent in most of the colors. I want to swatch these colors for you and tell you what I think about each one and how I think I'll do as far as hitting pan on that color. First color up here in the top corner is Tempura. And it's a pretty creamy matte. I don't reach for these kind of colors a lot, but I can see the usefulness of having it. I don't know if I'll be able to make a dent in it at all. Right now it's got just the very lightest dent. You can tell I haven't really used it a lot. The next color is Glistening. And this is a color I love. I use that color a lot. It's a really pretty golden shimmery color. I've got it on today and on my lid, and I absolutely love it. I think it is so pretty. The next color is Orange Soda. And I'm surprised I don't have a bigger dent in this because I do use this color a lot. I started out with this in my crease when I'm going to be doing some of these warm, pretty colors. It doesn't swatch that pretty, but it is a really pretty orangey matte color that I really like, and I think I can do some pretty good damage on that one. The next color is Rose Pink. I think I just swatched right over top of Orange Soda with that one. Let's see if I can get Orange Soda back on my arm. It's not swatching. I hope it hasn't gone hard in the pan. But down here, this is Rose Pink, and I've already got a pretty good dent in Rose Pink, so my goal is going to be just to get a bigger dent. Sorry, the brush just fell out. I don't use the brushes in these palettes, and I forget sometimes they're even there. So Rose Pink is that real pretty shimmery color there, and like as you can see, I have gotten some good use out of that, so I'm very optimistic about getting more use out of that one. Then the next color, same thing, it's Sultry. It's a beautiful, kind of a deeper, bronzy, coppery brown. I just absolutely love that color. It's probably, could be my favorite color in this palette. I love it. I wear it a lot, and it has got an even bigger dent than the Rose Pink did. There's Sultry, and you can see the dent in that one. The next color is another one. I've got to wipe my fingers here so I can swatch some more. Is another one that I really love. It is the color Bronze, and it is bronze. It's a really pretty bronzy color. Beautiful lid shade. And I have gotten a good amount of use out of it. It's not my deepest dent of the shimmer colors. I'd say that goes to Sultry. But it is, there's Bronze. And it's definitely bronze. Gorgeous. You can see why when I swatch these in the store, I'd fall in love with it. Here's Bronze in the pan, and you can see that I have gotten some use out of it. Now the next one, I don't think I've ever used. And it's a pretty color, but it's the color Mulberry, and it's a matte. And it's just kind of a dark matte. I struggle to use these dark mattes in palettes. I don't go that deep in the crease, or I darken the outer corner, but not always that dark. And I don't usually underline my eyes with shadow. I usually use an eyeliner. So these are kind of a struggle for me to use. I'm going to try. Mulberry is a very pretty color. If I show it to you, you can tell I haven't even really touched it, except to swatch it. And I'd like to try to find a way to use it. It is a pretty color. It does go well with a lot of the other colors in the palette. So maybe I can find a good use for it. We'll see. I'm not real optimistic about hitting any kind of significant dent on that one though. The next color is the color Dusty Rose. And I think this is a gorgeous shade, so pretty, and you can really use that as just a gorgeous matte in your crease, or an all over. If you're doing an all over matte look, you could use it on your lid. It's just so pretty. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of it. There's a minor dent in it, but it's very tiny. It's a pretty color, but I just most of the time when I reach for this palette, I'm going for these real warm, rich colors, and it's kind of a more muted, almost a cool tone color. But I'm going to try to get some more use out of it. Then next up here is the color Fairy. This is another absolute favorite of mine. I've got this one in the very center of my lid today, along with Glistening. And I think it's so pretty. Looks like a color that should be called Fairy, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to switch arms for the rest of these. Oh, I didn't show you Fairy. It doesn't have as much dent as some of these top row shimmers, but you can tell I have gotten some use out of it. It's a very pretty color. I also use that one sometimes as an inner corner highlight when I'm wearing a little bit like the color Bronze or Glistening. I've got a little bit of it in my corner today, as well as in the very center of the lid. Next up is that color Burnt Orange that I've already hit pan on. There it is swatched. And I think my goal is just going to be to keep on using that one as I do use it, and loving on it and seeing how big I can make that pan. The next color is Sienna, and I'm surprised that there's not a bigger dent in this one, because usually I use it when to either deepen the crease. I'll kind of go back and forth between Burnt Orange and Sienna with my brush and kind of deepen the crease a little bit, or I'll use this like maybe toward the outer corner to deepen a little bit. I get a lot of use out of that color, so I'm surprised it doesn't have a bigger dent than it does. It does have a little dent, but nothing significant, not like you would think it would have. But I'm going to try to change that and get some good use out of it. The next color is Rustic. Rustic is a little deep for me, but I do think I can get some good use out of it in my outer corner. I've done that before, and I think I can continue to use it that way. It's pretty. It doesn't have much of a dent at all yet. There's Rustic. But I think I can deepen it up some. Oh, I'm sorry, I was pointing to the wrong one. This one's Rustic. There's Rustic in the pan. The next one I may struggle with. That's Cypress Umber. This one, I've tried to use it a couple of times, but that's just so dark for a matte for me. I really don't have a good use for that color. Same with the very last color, which I'm not expecting to get any use out of. I've never touched it, and I really don't expect to, and that's the color Noir, that black color on the end. So these last two, Cypress Umber and Noir, they may look exactly the same at the end of this pan, that palette, as they do right now. But I'm hopeful to get a lot of use out of all these other shades. I'm excited about it. Now, my goal, as I said, is not to use anything up. My goal is just to pan a few more of these, hopefully, and at least make a dent or a bigger dent in some of the others. As far as my timeline, I don't really think a month is enough to tell anything on a palette as far as trying to pan it. But obviously a rolling project pan wouldn't work with this because I'm not planning to use it up. So what I've noticed a lot of people doing lately is seasonal project pans, and that sounds perfect to me because one of the reasons I want to use this in this project pan is it's the perfect fall palette to me, those warm, rich colors, and we just got into fall, so I feel like the perfect length of time for this project pan is fall. I'll finish it up on December 21st, which is the first day of winter. I'll do a finale video telling you how I did painting this palette, and I'll introduce the next palette I want to try to pan. I hope you like this video. It's something different for me. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it, and I look forward to sharing with you how I do. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Just hit that subscribe button at the bottom and then that notification bell right next to that so that you'll know when I post new videos. Bye for now.